Hello, it's a lovely good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Geoffrey to present the top stories in the news tonight. Monetary policy rate increased to 13.5% to stabilize economy. Court relaxes warrant of arrest for BWALYA MWAMBA. ECZ notes decline in political violence. In international news, Gabon former President Ali Bongo on hunger strike against alleged torture. And in sports news, FAS honors Gabon air crash victims' families with replica jerseys. These are more stories coming up after this break.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Hello again, the news in detail. Mongo District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa has called on residents and the informal sector in the district to register with the Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board to access social security benefits and improve their lives. Mr. Akabeswa made this appeal during the stakeholders engagement and sensitization workshop organized by the organization to extend coverage to the informal sector in Mongo. Speaking earlier, organization team leader Jimmy Shwandi stressed the importance of planning for workers while on duty, as injuries can impact their income level. More in this report.
The Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board, established under the Workers' Compensation Act No. 10 of 1999, is responsible for providing social security schemes to compensate workers for accident and disease contracted during employment. As part of its mandate, Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board has embarked on a stakeholder engagement and sensitization workshop to extend coverage to the informal sector in Mongo. The workshop, officiated by Mongo District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa, aims to raise awareness and educate its stakeholders on the importance of social security coverage for workers in the informal sector.
Of course, it is exciting to note that Workers' Compensation Fund Control has come for the sole purpose of extending the social security coverage to the informal and formal sectors. So I would like to call on the Mongo residents and all the informal sector players in our district to ensure that you register with Workers' Compensation Fund Control. Embracing this important initiative will change your lives for the better. We call upon the board not to relent, but continue spreading the good news of social protection for the people of Zambia.
Jimmy Shwandi is Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board team leader.
We are here in Mongo for a series of activities for awareness and registration of the informal sector. Because we have realized that the informal sector is accounting for 72% of the workforce, and for certain districts and provinces like Mongo, the percentage is even more. It is very imperative for workers to plan for their duty whilst they are still able, because we realize that once they get injured, their income levels are affected, and some injuries or diseases take long to heal.
Participants express their gratitude for the initiative, which seeks to protect the welfare of workers in the informal sector.
People have been left out, and there are a lot of issues pertaining to compensation issues that have been pending with the employers and the employees, which has been there for quite some time. But now that it has come, to be able to sort out all these issues that we are dealing with.
wakona kama sharing yao na how you van makozi yetu wao wakona kuitusisaga peni kale kwa banda.
Mosebo Kabila, Camnet News in Mungu district of Western Province.
The Bank of Zambia has increased the monetary policy rate from 12.5% to 13.5% to limit the forecast persistent rise in inflation and depreciation of the kwacha. Speaking during the Monetary Policy Committee announcement Wednesday, Bank of Zambia Governor Dr. BWALYA says arriving at the decision, the committee took into account various factors such as the inflation, depreciation of the kwacha, drought, among others. Dr. BWALYA explained that inflation currently stands at 13.8% and the bank has forecast persistent rise averaging 13.7% for the rest of the year, and if nothing is done, macroeconomic stability will be undermined. The bank has reviewed that Zambia's economic activities have dwindled from the projected 4.4% economic growth to 2.36%. Nelson Zulu reports.
As the economy is overheating and many feeling the impact of the situation, the need to cool it down cannot be ignored in what is regarded as a measure to keep the inflation of the country in check, despite it standing at 13.8% against the target band of 6 to 8% and the Bank of Zambia's forecast of an average increasing inflation of 13.7%. The Bank of Zambia Governor Dr. BWALYA Wednesday announced the upward adjustment of the monetary policy rate from 12.5% to 13.5%, while admitting that the move will cause further pain to citizens as it tightens liquidity in the economy. Dr. BWALYA explains that the measure is aimed at addressing inflation, which is projected away from the target band of 6 to 8% in 2024.
At its meeting of Monday and Tuesday yesterday, decided to raise the policy rate by 100 basis points to 13.5%. This was informed by a number of factors. Even at 13.5%, you note that it's still below the inflation, which is around 13.8%. So calibrating it to that level was a subject of intense discussion and poring over information to see how best.
Speaking during the Monetary Policy Committee briefing, Dr. BWALYA also revealed that due to the continued increase in inflation, depreciation of the kwacha, and drought, among other challenges, the country's economic activities have declined from the projected 4.4% economic growth in 2022 to 2.36%, calling for the need for stakeholders to do their part in strengthening the country's economy.
We have done, and we believe that it will help in arresting some of the pressures that we are experiencing in the economy, and once those are reduced, they should spur other activities in the economy.
Meanwhile, the bank has disclosed that the electronic balance of payments monitoring system is still being worked on before operationalization.
It should be no doubt with anybody that this system is here. It's going to be expanded in the ways I've discussed, and if we don't get cooperation fully from our partners, we will be escalating how we make sure we get cooperation, and that is already provided for in the law. But our understanding is first let's engage, let's educate so that everybody's on the same.
This increase in the monetary policy rate means a reduction in access to the kwacha, thereby creating a demand for the local currency, which the central bank hopes will stabilize the exchange rate and in turn reduce inflation amid challenges such as the energy deficit, drought, among others. The economic performance is hoped to rebound in 2025, driven by improvements in the mining and agriculture sectors, among others. The revised economic growth projection by the Bank of Zambia comes weeks after the International Monetary Fund released a report downgrading Zambia's economic growth rate to 2.3% from the projected 4.7% in 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Government has secured a $1 billion investment into Zambia's economy from both Chinese and Zambian companies targeting key sectors. Speaking at the official opening of the China-Zambia High Quality Development Forum, President Hakainde Hichilema emphasized the importance of collaboration with other nations, particularly in light of economic challenges such as the recent drought. President Hichilema explained the government's commitment to doubling the country's economy during his term through strategic partnerships. Meanwhile, China's ambassador to Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Du Jianghu, reaffirmed China's dedication to aiding Zambia's economic revitalization through investments in crucial sectors. Here's a report.
In an effort to strengthen its bilateral ties with China, Zambia, today 15th May 2024, hosted the China-Zambia High Quality Development Forum aimed at soaring investments in Zambia to address the prevailing effects of the drought on the country's economy. The event, which saw several delegates from China, attracted into the country $1 billion worth of investments from Chinese and Zambian companies to cushion the severely affected key economic sectors in the country, such as agriculture, energy, and mining, among others. Guest of honor at the event, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, says government, through strategic investments with countries like China, is lobbying for opportunities to address the country's economic challenges arising from climate change. The head of state further stated that his administration will double the country's economy before its tenure elapses.
More than double the size of the country's economy. You think I don't know where those instruments are? I know. They sit right in what we're doing today. In 28 shafts, in the Mopani, in the difficult case here. They sit in irrigation agriculture, they sit in energy, they sit in these places. So, today, memory lane is blood. In addition to what I've said, I'd like you to remember and pass it to someone who needs to be positive a little bit. You cannot achieve nothing if you're not positive with what you do. You'll be an average person, maybe below average. We have to tackle the challenges that face us head on.
President Hichilema further underscored the importance of strategic partnership with countries like China in revamping the country's economy.
These are relationships that we must all build on. These are relationships we must all use as a foundation for what we want to do. And I make a specific reference to us who are privileged to serve in cabinets, to serve as senior government officials, cabinet secretaries and others, that we need to be alive to these things. When we are pursuing initiatives with friends like China, we need to know that we should not denigrate these relationships. We should build on them. And one way to build on them is to deliver on our obligations.
And Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, says his ministry remains committed in facilitating for mutual and quality investments into the country.
Colleagues, in my first statement, you must have noticed that emphasizing on high quality, and high quality, 3 times I mentioned. This comes as a result of the trip that His Excellency President of Zambia took with the delegation of the Camnet ministers into China last year in September, where the President of China and our President elevated our diplomatic engagement to a higher level.
Meanwhile, China's ambassador to Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Du Jianghu, says China remains committed in offering support to Zambia to revamp its most lucrative economic sectors.
As comprehensive, strategic, and cooperative partners, will continue to work together down the road to modernization. In this process, we elevate the China community with a shared future, where we share responsibilities.
And the Zambia Development Agency commended government for creating a business-friendly environment that has since seen the country's economy recovering.
More than 1,000 hectares. So you can imagine what happens between these two sizes of land. And also, Mr. President, just to mention that what we are about to do here is because of high levels of investor confidence. And these high levels of investor confidence have not just come about. It's because investors are telling us that they are seeing good leadership in Zambia and they are being motivated to come and invest in this country.
Chanda Mwangu for Camnet News in Osaka.
Government has called for increased support from the private sector to minimize the drought's impact. Speaking during a donation of 1 million kwacha made by Stanbic Bank, Vice President Mtalena Lumango says government needs about 23.5 billion kwacha to help the 6.6 million people affected by the drought. Meanwhile, Stanbic Bank Zambia Limited Chief Executive Officer Mwindwa Siakalima expressed the bank's commitment to assisting the government in addressing the needs of affected areas. Here's a report.
According to the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit Drought Response Plan, which is based on two key pillars that include the immediate humanitarian assistance and an early recovery and resilient mechanism that will enhance coping capacity of people to climate shocks, May 15th, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit have received 1 million kwacha from Stanbic Bank as assistance to help the government cushion the impact of climate change in affected areas. Stanbic Bank Zambia Limited Chief Executive Officer Mwindwa Siakalima says among the other initiatives the company is undertaking, it thought it wise to lend a hand to the government amidst the current conditions.
President, in response to His Excellency's call for immediate relief to support those that are vulnerable, so that they have access to clean water, food, and essential services. As a bank, we have decided to come in and extend a helping hand by donating 1 million kwacha as part of our corporate social responsibility. As I conclude, I wish to commend you, Madam Vice President, for the efforts in supporting those that have been impacted by this drought and climate change as the root cause that has caused the drought.
And Vice President Mtalena Lumango has thanked the company for the gesture, saying that the government needs 25 billion kwacha to ensure that the affected people survive to the next farming season. She says with the 1 million kwacha, her office is a step closer in meeting its budget and has urged the private sector to come on board and support government efforts.
That you have done very well, and this, to me, should be an opening for other private sector entities to come on board as we look to other countries that are also affected, which means humanitarian support that one would generally expect from other countries is dwindling because they have their own challenges. So we look from within first and foremost. This is how even others will say, yes, they are making an effort. What can we do to support them to survive? And this example said is very good.
The El Nino drought affected 84 districts out of 116 districts in Zambia, and about 6.6 million people require immediate assistance from the drought shocks. Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has noted a decrease in political violence during elections over the past 2 years. Speaking during a stakeholder engagement with Socialist Party executive, ECZ chairperson Mwangala Zalumi said the commission is actively engaging political parties to address underlying concerns regarding the electoral process. And Socialist Party Secretary General Dr. Cosmas Msumali underscored the importance of ongoing engagement between political parties and the Commission to enhance the electoral system. More in this report.
The The Electoral Commission of Zambia Wednesday afternoon held a stakeholder meeting with opposition Socialist Party executive over the challenges the Socialist Party have raised concerning previous held elections. Speaking during the press briefing, ECZ chairperson Mwangala Zalumis says the commission will henceforth hold engagement with political parties in the country. Ms. Zalumis says compared to the previous years, elections held under the last 2 years have had minimal violence, but there is need to bring a stop to all form of violence in all elections.
Going forward, we can engage all the stakeholders, all the political parties that take part in the election as a starting point, and interrogate the issues that they are discussing and see how we can meet one another, either halfway, or how we can meet one another so that we know that there's no perfect solution, that the violence we are talking about cannot be compared to the violence that used to happen before. At least we haven't had serious violence that one can talk about, but we can still contain it.
And Socialist Party Secretary General Cosmas Musumali has thanked the Commission for according the party an opportunity to air out their views concerning the electoral process in the country.
The opportunity we're given today to speak about this is very welcome, because we have general elections in 2026, and what we have to start doing is to put our heads together, continue dialoguing, so that as we come to 2026, hopefully some of these issues can be resolved. We're also guided on some issues by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. The use of process management structures that are at the lower level, the timely reporting of certain incidents, the collection of evidence that will make it easier for the Commission to be able to execute its work.
Meanwhile, Chief Electoral Officer Brown Casaro says the meeting with the Socialist Party was fruitful as they have identified areas of improvement and agreed to commit to an open and continuous communication process between the Commission and political parties.
Recognize the importance of the lower level structures in the electoral process, specifically the district conflict management committees, in resolving conflicts at those levels and thereby enhancing the processes towards the participation of all parties involved. The Commission and the Social Party also took note the importance of open communication and the Socialist Party in particular expressed its appreciation of the open lines of communication.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has revoked former Defense Minister BWALYA's bench warrant after he presented himself Wednesday before Magistrate Sanford Ngobola. However, Magistrate Ngobola has ordered Mr. MWAMBA to only present proof of his medical report from government institutions going forward. In this matter, Mr. MWAMBA, who is currently on his defense, pleaded not guilty to 24 counts of failure to declare interest and being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime on May 7, 2024. The court issued a warrant of arrest against him for missing a court session. Details in this report.
On 7th May 2024, the Lusaka Magistrate Court issued a bench warrant of arrest against former Defense Minister Geoffrey MWAMBA for missing a court session despite his lawyers indicating that the accused was unwell. Lusaka Magistrate Sanford Ngobola ordered that Mr. MWAMBA appears on Wednesday, May 15, 2024 without fail to explain why he missed a court session. And when the matter came up, Mr. MWAMBA explained to Magistrate Ngobola that in the early hours of May 8, 2024, his oxygen intake began to reduce while home and decided to go to the hospital. He told the court that while admitted, he directed his son to find his surety to appear before court with a sick note and a report to indicate that he was admitted. Mr. MWAMBA explained that he was admitted for 4 days, making it impossible for him to appear before court. This led to Magistrate Ngobola revoking the bench warrant which was issued against him and ordered that, going forward, GBM should only be presenting proof of sickness from a government facility before the court or expressing displeasure that the accused has been on stand since 16 March 2023. In this matter, Mr. MWAMBA, who is currently on his defense, pleaded not guilty to 24 counts of failure to declare interest and owning property deemed to be proceeds of crime. Among the 24 counts, GBM is facing 8 counts of conflict of interest, 1 count of money laundering, and 15 counts of owning property suspected to be proceeds of crime. However, one of the defense lawyers applied for the court to allow the accused to seek medical attention abroad. Meanwhile, the court reserved May 24th, 2024 for a ruling on whether to grant GBM permission to seek medical attention abroad or not. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A state witness, Grace Njumpi, an internal auditor at the Water Resource Management Authority, has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that former WAMA Director General Engineer Kenneth Nyundo received a 35% vehicle allowance instead of 20%. When the matter came up for commencement of trial before Magistrate Anna Holland, Wednesday, Njumpi told the court that after conducting a payroll audit, she discovered that Engineer Nyundo was overpaid in housing allowances. She said she advised the Director of Finance, Human Resource and Administration and Engineer Nyundo of her findings and cautioned the latter to pay back what he had been overpaid. Meanwhile, Minister of Water and Sanitation Permanent Secretary Joe Kalusa also told court that Engineer Nyundo's contract was modified and had anomalies. Engineer Kalusa said after being appointed as Permanent Secretary in the ministry, he went through all the 11 contracts of the Chief Executive Officers and noticed anomalies in Engineer Nyundo's contract, prompting the findings to be reported to the ACC. This is Camnet Television Main News. We take a break. We have more news for you shortly after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Hello and welcome once again. The ruling UPND Luwingi District Chair Lady Carol Cabo has expressed gratitude for the support rendered by the First Lady to persons with disabilities in the district. First Lady Mutinta Hijilema has donated 2 modern wheelchairs and crutches to persons with disabilities in Luwingi District of Northern Province. And speaking shortly after receiving the wheelchairs, the beneficiaries disclosed the challenges they faced with mobility for a long time as funds to procure their machines proved futile.
Ifina bachire kuno ku Luwingu, efe bachire na ku Chilubi, efe bachire na ku Lupososhi, efe bachire na ku Senga, Kasama, Lukashamba, la Mpulungu. Tureti umutima w'abunyinefwe utwalire. Ilelo ngaba province amachialedi pamona inefe bale mininako fwe balombeleko ififintu twakisando valelo twapela muli aba banensu bamunyinefwe ukutila tifi ngabafuirisha kwe miendele
bamayo ba first lady abatuletereko ififi abupe kuno kulwansenshi kuluwingu kumwesu tulipanshi tuletotera pafi abupe fe batuletereko nga ife bana mayo na bashitata kubika pofe na bana besu ba youthi echo kanshi kutitwala ndokwe bati bonse kwe bana mayo tubyakapikamo tuyikatane tukoshanye tulebombo mulimo wakutwala twanchesu pantanshi.
Government has apologized for the confusion caused by the issuance of a warrant of distress by the Kawe Municipal Council demanding payment of ground rates from Jiangxi Multi-Facility Economic Zone MPhase, which is under Chibombo District. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe, who today led a team of council and district officials from Kawe and the MPhase, noted that the structure is in Chibombo and all taxes and levies should be paid by Chibombo Council as declared by President Hakainde Hichilema. On Monday, officials from Kabwe Municipal Council sent bailiffs to seize property at the 300,000 multi-facility economic zone for failure to pay ground rates. More in the following report.
Confusion erupted last Monday when Kabwe Municipal Council sent bailiffs to seize property following the issuance of a warrant of distress to Jiangxi Multi-Facility Economic Zone for failure to pay ground rates by the multi-million-dollar project, which is in fact under Chibombo District. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe led government officials from both Kabwe and Chibombo districts to a closed-door meeting where the matter was resolved.
And so it's not a minor investment, it's a gigantic investment that requires all of us to put hands together and make sure that we support this investor. I'm aware by the year 2028, this investor will be able to employ more than 7,000 people.
Kabwe Mayor Patrick Chishala took responsibility of the matter.
To request government that I think you give us an opportunity to sit and discuss this matter.
Chibombo Town Council Chairperson Newton Nyeleti says government wants to maintain the good relationship which exists with China.
And we are here once again to offer the investor confidence that we are here to protect their investment here.
This MPhase, as it will benefit a lot to start with to our youth, because it will boost jobs which our youth will benefit.
Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa has stressed the need to take advantage of other investments to raise revenue for the provincial capital.
I think Kabwe has a lot of land that we can still put together with the leadership of His Worship the Mayor and the rest of the team, so that we can also begin to look at investment opportunities.
Hlupekile Nkonika for Zanis in Chibombo.
Gender Division Permanent Secretary Mainga Kabika has praised Chief Mumbi of the Nsenga-speaking people of Petaoke District in Eastern Province for providing land to women cooperatives to be used for agricultural purposes. And Ms. Mainga has inspected the land this morning and has assured the traditional leaders of government support by providing irrigation equipment. Zanis reports.
As government embarks on a journey to boost agriculture production in the face of climate change, traditional leaders have also joined the noble cause by allocating huge pieces of land to women cooperatives for agricultural purposes. In Petauke district of Eastern Province, Chief Mumbi of the Nsenga-speaking people has given a huge portion of land with an already installed borehole to women cooperatives in his chiefdom. The move that has delighted Gender Division Permanent Secretary Mahinga Kawika, who inspected the land.
For us as government, we are very thrilled, obviously, to be here. As you can see, all this land that has been provided for by the chiefdom of Chief Mumbi here in Petauke. Suffice to say, this is the only way that we can support the economy. It doesn't matter where you are. I think we have enough land in this country. Let's all go for agriculture. Let's ensure that no one dies with hunger. Let's ensure that our children go to school with a full stomach.
Wife to Chief Mumbi leads a cooperative which is ready to engage in agriculture.
So that now that they've come on board, we are going to partner, and I feel with the irrigation, we are going to go a long way. And I feel this is going to cushion the food shortage. And when we are equipped, when they bring the full kit of irrigation, I'm sure within 2 to 3 months, we are going to start this project. And for the next 6 months, I'm sure we are going to put food on the table for the Zambian.
Petia Simutali for Zanis News in Petauke, Eastern Province.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We take another break. We'll be back with international sports news shortly.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in foreign news, former President Ali Bongo of Gabon and his 2 youngest sons, Jalil and Bilal, have started a hunger strike to protest their sequestration and alleged acts of torture against family members. Their lawyers announced this on May 14, stating a lawsuit has been filed in the Paris Judicial Court. Lawyers Francois Zimerey and Catalina de la Sota aim to have a French judge investigate these allegations, especially as Gabon's leader since the August 2023 coup, General Brice Oligui Nguema, plans to visit Paris soon. An earlier complaint by Ali Bongo's wife, Sylvia Bongo, filed on September 1, 2 days after the coup was dismissed in October. The new complaint alleges illegal arrest, aggravated sequestration with torture, and barbaric acts against Ali, Sylvia, and their sons Noureddin, Jalil, and Bilal, noting that the first 4 are French nationals. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Former President Ali Bongo of Gabon and his two youngest sons, Jalil and Bilal, have started a hunger strike to protest their sequestration and alleged act of torture against family members. Their lawyers announced this on May 14, stating a lawsuit has been filed in the Paris Judicial Court. The lawyers aim to have a French judge investigate these allegations, especially as Gabon's leader since August 2023 coup, General Brice Oligui Nguema, plans to visit Paris soon. An earlier complaint by Ali Bongo's wife, filed on September 1, 2 days after the coup, was dismissed in October. The new complaint alleges illegal arrests, aggravated sequestration with torture, and barbaric acts against Aliou Sylvia and their sons Nuruddin, Jalil and Bilal, noting the first four are French nationals. In March, the lawyers requested a UN working group to recognize Bongo's arbitrary detention post-coup. The death toll from last week's building collapse in George, South Africa, has risen to 33, with 19 people still missing. Despite ongoing rescue efforts, no new survivors have been found. Only 6 victims have been identified so far. Rescuers using cranes, heavy machineries, and sniffer dogs are focusing on buildings' lower levels and first and second floors. Over 600 personnel, including many from nearby towns, are involved in the operation. George, located about 400 kilometers east of Cape Town, is known as a vacation and golfing spot. Authorities, including police and labor departments, are investigating the cause of the collapse.
Star-studded appearances at last week's Met Gala in New York and this week at the Cannes Film Festival in France. But celebrities are facing increasing criticism on social media for their failure to speak out against the humanitarian crisis in the Palestinian enclave of Gaza.
They are condemning the celebrities for not speaking out enough for the suffering that's going on in the ground in Gaza. The boycott or the blackout started roughly about a week ago in the wake of the Met Gala last Monday. The contrast between the opulence and the fabulousness of the celebrities and the Israeli government starting their military operation in Rafah really raised a lot of concern and outrage. What you're seeing now is that people are choosing to block celebrities who they think they need to hear more from. It's been a range of celebrities. Pretty much any celebrity you can think of probably has somebody blocking them, both in the US as well as in other countries around the world as more people have gotten involved. It's along the lines with a lot of the protests we've been seeing, like the campus protests that have been taking place over the last month.
The social media blockout comes against the backdrop of increasing demonstrations of support for the people of Palestine in the United States and elsewhere.
And now in sports news, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has provided copper replica jerseys to the families of the Gabon air crash victims. FAZ General Secretary Ruben Kamanga highlighted the significance of this gesture in showing support to the families. He expressed the association's desire to invite these families to upcoming international games. Leah, daughter of the late Corporal Thomas Sakala, accepted 90 replicas on behalf of the 30 families.
Last month we commemorated 31 years of the Gabon disaster, which robbed us of massive talent, as in the players and coaches and officials that perished off the coast of Gabon. And so we thought it wise, as a Football Association of Zambia, to be close to the families by giving each family all the different types of copper kit. And I know that as members of the victims, the players and officials that died off the coast of Gabon, you followed the evolution of copper jerseys, and so we thought it's important for us to share with the families all the colors, and that is green, orange, which is our home first home color, and white, which is an alternative. Green is their away strip. And so we are very happy as a Football Association of Zambia to extend this very good innovation to all the families. And I hope that the next international game that we have as Football Association of Zambia, the families can be invited to come and watch. And during that time, we expect the families to be doing the Copa Replica jerseys. So we are very, very happy to extend to all the families 3 sets of Copa jerseys to each family. So thank you very much, and keep supporting us. We've built a family. We are close to the families. Let's keep interacting. Let's keep exchanging notes on how we can develop a beautiful game. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the families, we're very grateful for this, for the jerseys that you've given us, and we will await for the invitation to one of the matches so that we can proudly wear the jerseys. So we're very grateful, and we'll distribute each according to their families. Thank you very much to Faz and everyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To end Camnet television main news, the top stories once again. Monetary policy rate increased to 13.5% to stabilize economy. Court relaxes warrant of arrest for Geoffrey MWAMBA, GBM. ECZ notes decline in political violence. In international news, Gabon former President Ali Bongo on hunger strike against alleged torture. And in sports news, FAZ honors Gabon air crash victims' families with replica jerseys. Our cover verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Thank you for watching Camnet News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.